Battlefield 2's got a whole litany of mods covering any number of theaters across the world, to conflicts in the past to future ones. The one I'm bringing up today is really interesting because it unintentionally parallels a part of the modern day, just in the complete opposite direction. I can't fault the developers for that though, since they were making this in the mid to late 2000s. It's called Point of Existence 2. I'm just going to call it Point of Existence from now on. And it's a Battlefield 2 mod you can find on ModDB. The gist is that there's a war in Eastern Europe and Ukraine is caught up in the middle of it. They're up against their old, ancient enemy. And you know what I'm talking about. I am, of course, talking about Germany and the United States.
You know, Quasimodo predicted all this.
Yeah, this is the reverse gift of prophecy, the reverse Nostradamus. A world where the US and Germany go to war against a fanatical, warlike Ukraine. And Ukraine also invades Russia in this timeline. I'm gonna refrain from the political talk in this one, but I just found the premise very amusing given how life turned out in actuality. The mod is good though. I'm not gonna fault them for getting something nearly 15 years in the future incorrect. I mean, it has some of the issues of early Battlefield 2 mods and vanilla Battlefield 2 gameplay, but this is like a nice expansion of what worked about base Battlefield 2. It has a lot of content to go with it too. So, Point of Existence might be an older mod, but honestly, I'd say it's impressive. It shows the depth of work put into it by the creators and the amount of thought put into it. Point of Existence. The mod is set in, I guess, what would have been the future at the time, in the 2010s, with Ukraine invading surrounding territories and committing acts of brutality, leading the US and Germany to intervene and invade Ukraine, and in turn to experience counter-invasions, at least Germany. It's a pretty intense mod, and you have three factions to choose from. The German Bundeswehr, the US Marine Corps, and the Armed Forces of Ukraine, across levels that range from the snowy ruins of Pripyat, the streets of Berlin, the coasts of Odessa, Crimea, and more. There are a lot of maps for it, and it isn't just ports from the base game. There are a lot of things that were made for the mod, and the depth of it's pretty impressive. It comes with bot support too, and you'll need to do some slight tweaking in the bot folder to add more bots to the overall amount. Otherwise you're stuck playing against 15 of them when a lot of maps will need probably 32 or 64. It works. Like I said, it's an earlier Battlefield 2 mod. This was when things were still being hammered out. Don't expect stuff like empty and dry reload animations. Don't expect like Battlefield 3 levels of animations and such. This definitely comes from that era, and the graphics and designs reflect that. But it's not much of an issue for me. I liked Battlefield 2, for the most part. There is one aspect of frustration I'm going to bring up when it comes to the weapons and the overall balance. But the levels have a big focus on armor-based combat. You can find ones focusing on infantry, with air support, with water vehicles. There's a really impressive amphibious assault level, where the US is deploying boats and they have artillery, a Little Bird helicopter, to attack the coast of a Ukrainian village, and the Ukrainian side is defending it. And the bots work surprisingly well with it. They can get caught up on some of the cliffs, but for the most part they navigate it well. And it was pretty thrilling to try to conquer the place as the US, because they're fighting at a disadvantage.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostiles on the ground.
The locales for it can get pretty creative. There's this cool smaller level set in a castle where the Bundeswehr are fighting the armed forces of Ukraine for control of it. Very close quarters, very tense, very thrilling. I liked the overall design of it, and it sets itself apart from the usual urban or rural or forested sprawls that I would expect. The mod kept me guessing with where each level would take place and how it would play out. I really liked the designs of everything, and I liked how sometimes the equipment and outfits changed. So the Pripyat level, it's covered in snow, so as a result the German Bundeswehr are wearing winter uniforms. In the castle level, it's more close quarter, so the weapons are lighter on both sides. So you don't have like LMGs and such. You have like smaller submachine guns and things like that. That way you aren't just completely blocking off pathways with bullets. Speaking of bullets, let's talk about the weapons, because there are a lot of them in this. And even the ones that make a return from Battlefield 2 get either new designs or new sounds. A lot of work was put into the German and Ukrainian sides. I like the gun variety put into it. Plus, they feel pretty different too. Like the Ukrainians have the Vepr assault rifle with an underbarrel GP25 grenade launcher. There's an AS Val assault rifle for special forces, an SVD, a different SVD that is, for the sniper side, and different variants of RPG, like a thermobaric one, a heat one. The Bundeswehr has the Panzerfaust 3, the G36 assault rifle with different variants, like one with a scope, one with an underbarrel grenade launcher, one with a silencer and a red dot sight. It even has the carry handle removed, like the Ready or Not G36. Even the US gets in on the action. They get a unique version of the M4 combat shotgun with a shell holder on it.
Die Luft ist rein. Stellung unter Kontrolle. Ende.
Vorwärts, hier angreifen!
The anti-tank class across the board is nerfed a bit. Generally speaking, the classes have a little less to work with, but it honestly gives them more diversity in terms of how they play out. So you aren't just going one class and dominating as a result of it. Assault still feels like it's meant to lead the charge, even if the grenade launcher isn't the best. The support doesn't have grenades, neither does medic, so you kind of have to rely on like special forces and the assault classes to toss grenades down range and to flush enemies out of positions. I did touch on the problem with guns though, and it has the same issue that the base Battlefield 2 game does, which is that guns are weirdly inaccurate. You can still land hits if you have like volume of fire going on, or if you're prone and doing single taps, but shots that would normally hit usually don't. It's kind of weird. You'll have to play it for yourself, either this or the base Battlefield 2 game, but like even if you're aiming at a target, you're not moving, you're lined up center of mass, you can find shots will sometimes go completely off center. It isn't like the spray patterns of Counter-Strike. I don't get the logic behind Battlefield 2's inaccuracy. And it doesn't help that characters are a little spongier to a degree. Headshots are still pretty much guaranteed kills for larger caliber guns, and shotguns will kill at close range with one shot. But otherwise, you'll find enemies surviving more hits than you might expect if you play the modern Battlefield games, or play stuff like even Call of Duty for that matter, where it's like you might need 5 or 6 pistol shots center of mass to kill someone, or 3 to 4 rifle rounds. And it's just a little odd. I mean, you get used to it. I had played Battlefield 2 way back when, so it wasn't that odd. Compared to modern shooters, that is a very strange choice by DICE. I think they were trying to mimic the whole aspect of warfare where you're firing single shots unless you have a damn good reason to go full auto. But it kind of is a hassle. It makes you wonder, like, what's the point of having full auto on some of these guns if they're just going to be so horribly inaccurate? I mean, I can't fault the mod creators for keeping something that was in the vanilla game already. There are more recent mods that address this and make guns a lot more accurate when standing or crouching or on the move, but this was a product of its time, and I'm not faulting it for doing that approach. The vehicles play well, I like the designs of them, and I like how there are new ones for the factions. So like there's a modified T-84 tank for the Ukrainian side, there are different things like the Leopard tank for the German side, even the US vehicles get reskins and such to reflect the different environments the combat's taking place in. Overall feeling of it is that, like I said, it is a little more armor-based, so there were a lot more tank battles than what I expected. Which I guess makes sense. I mean, that kind of was how the Eastern Front was in World War II. It doesn't quite line up with how the war's gone nowadays, but I mean, this was just predicting how things were going to play out. And the tank battles are fun. Enemy AI and tanks are good. They'll deploy smoke screens as needed to cover a retreat if their tank's destroyed. They'll be pretty aggressive with getting shots off or using their machine guns. It's just that you kind of have to account for that whenever you're in a match with tanks going around. I found myself switching to the anti-tank class a lot as a result, because I would have to be ready to fire a rocket or do something to get tanks off of me. There'd be times I'd choose support or sniper, and a tank would just roll to a control point and I'd be able to do nothing about it. Except on rare occasions. There is one more aspect of this mod I like. Other mods have done it too, which are the pickup classes.
All clear. Position under control. Out. Move out. Attack this coordinate. We need repairs, quick.
Scattered around certain maps are weapons that you can pick up that function as their own classes with unique equipment, depending on the level you're in and what faction controls the point it's at. So, at the starting point of that castle level I mentioned, on the German side there's a DSR marksman rifle, a 50 caliber sniper rifle that is better known for its appearance in Black Ops 2. In the Kirch level, there was a rocket launcher class set near one of the apartment buildings, and depending on whether the US or Ukraine controlled it, it would either be an RPG-7 or it would be a Panzerfaust 3. Similarly, on that amphibious assault level, there was a pickup in the first village, either for a PKM machine gun or an MG3 machine gun. And those weapons, generally speaking, they weren't available by default. This does reward exploration and encourages you to look around because some of these can be total lifesavers. I really enjoyed the heavier machine guns. They were a lot of fun to use, and they felt properly balanced while being a bit of a step up from the usual fare. Some of the pickups are just kind of upgrades, like I found an MP7 with a red dot sight and a larger magazine in one of the levels I was playing as Ukraine, but otherwise, they feel fitting. They're not overpowered. They're just rewards for going out of your way and picking up something that stands out among the other props in levels. Point of Existence can be found on ModDB. There are different add-ons and fixes for it. Installation's pretty straightforward. Just put it in your Battlefield 2 mods folder. It's a fun mod. I liked it. I'd say that even if it got the future of the combat totally wrong, there are no drones to be seen anywhere, and there's a suspicious lack of trench warfare in the maps I played, although it seemed like they could be in some of the other levels. Otherwise, I gotta give the devs props for their creativity. I wasn't politically active at the time. I was pretty young, so I don't know if there was some fear of Ukraine being a military power that would conquer the West and the East, but the concept is pretty cool. I mean, I can't fault it any more than alternate history of, like, what if the Confederacy won the Civil War, or, like, what if the Ottoman Empire survived World War I? It's just speculative fiction at this point, and it doesn't have to reflect reality. It's just kind of fun to think about, and thinking about it was what encouraged me to make this video. Besides, I love Battlefield 2 mods. Battlefield 2 is such a flexible game, you can do so much with it, and the breadth of creativity for mods made for it still impresses me to this day. So, have you played Point of Existence or Battlefield 2? Do you have a favorite Battlefield 2 mod you'd recommend? You know, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and recommendations. Thank you all for watching. Take care.